Ideology. Analysis of ideology. And approach of Gandhi, Luther, Fanon and Alinsky. Definition of ideology. Ideology refers to a set of beliefs, values, and ideas that shape an individual's or group's worldview. It influences political, social, and economic perspectives and guides actions within a society. Ideologies can be broad, e.g., capitalism, socialism, or specific, e.g., environmentalism, feminism. Karl Marx viewed ideology as a tool used by the ruling class to maintain power, while Antonio Gramsci emphasized the role of ideology in shaping cultural hegemony. Role of ideology. Guides political and social behavior. Ideology determines policies, governance styles, and societal norms. Legitimizes authority. Ruling classes use ideology to justify their control over society. Mobilizes masses. Ideologies inspire revolutions, movements, and political activism. Shapes identity. Ideological beliefs help form personal and collective identities. Influences education and media. Institutions propagate ideologies to maintain societal order. Liberation theology. Liberation theology is a Christian theological movement that interprets faith through the perspective of the oppressed, advocating for social justice and political change. It emerged in Latin America in the 20th century, particularly within the Catholic Church, and was strongly influenced by Marxist ideas of class struggle. Key aspects of liberation theology. Preferential option for the poor, emphasizes the needs of marginalized communities. Faith and social justice, views religious belief as a means to challenge oppression. Active political engagement, encourages direct involvement in social change. Critique of capitalism and imperialism, sees economic structures as sources of inequality. Analysis of ideology and approaches of Gandhi, Luther King Jr., Fanon, and Alinsky. 1. Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi's ideology was deeply rooted in nonviolence, ahimsa, truth, satya, and self-reliance, swaraj. His approaches focused on moral and ethical resistance against oppression. Approaches to Gandhiji. Religious and ethical approach. Gandhi was influenced by Hinduism, Jainism, Christianity, and Islam, integrating spirituality with politics. Political approach, advocated for self-rule, Swaraj, through non-violent civil disobedience. Economic approach, emphasized self-sufficiency, village industries, and opposition to industrial capitalism. Social approach, worked against untouchability, promoted equality, and encouraged communal harmony. B. Gandhi's approach of non-violence, ahimsa. Moral and spiritual basis, rooted in truth, satya, and love for all beings. Satyagraha, truth force, a method of non-violent resistance through protests, fasting, and civil disobedience. Application in Indian independence movement, used in movements like non-cooperation, 1920, civil disobedience, 1930, and Quit India, 1942. Influence on global movements, inspired leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. C. Gandhi's approach towards untouchables. Harijan movement, Gandhi called untouchables Harijans, children of God, and worked for their upliftment. Temple entry movement, advocated for their right to worship in temples. Removal of social discrimination, promoted interdining, intermarriage, and education for Harijans. Pune Pact, 1932, negotiated with B.R. Ambedkar to provide separate electorates while maintaining Hindu unity. D. Gandhi's philosophy of trusteeship. Economic justice, advocated that wealth should be used for societal welfare rather than personal gain. Moral responsibility of the rich, wealthy individuals should act as trustees of resources for public benefit. Opposition to exploitation, believed in cooperative ownership and decentralization of power. Alternative to capitalism and communism, sought a non-violent and moral approach to economic equality. 2. Martin Luther King Jr. King's ideology was influenced by Gandhi's nonviolence, Christian theology, and the American civil rights movement. His six-step approach to social change emphasized peaceful resistance. Approaches of Martin Luther King Jr. Information gathering, understanding facts about injustice through research and first-hand accounts. Education, spreading awareness about racial discrimination and civil rights. Personal commitment, encouraging individuals to be morally and spiritually committed to the cause. Negotiation, attempting peaceful dialogue with authorities before direct action. Direct action, engaging in non-violent protests, sit-ins, boycotts, and marches to challenge injustice. Reconciliation, seeking unity and harmony between communities rather than revenge or violence. 3. Frantz Fanon. Fanon was a revolutionary thinker whose ideology focused on anti-colonial struggles, racial identity, and decolonization. Of Frantz Fanon's approach. Violence is a means of liberation. Unlike Gandhi and King, Fanon argued that violence was necessary for decolonization. Psychological effects of colonialism, studied how colonial oppression created inferiority complexes among the colonized. Critique of assimilation, opposed the idea of colonized people adopting the culture of the oppressors. Call for a new national culture, advocated for the revival of indigenous traditions and political autonomy. 4. Saul Alinsky. Alinsky was a radical community organizer who emphasized grassroots activism to challenge social and political power structures. Saul Alinsky as a radical community organizer. Empowerment of the poor, encouraged marginalized communities to fight for their rights. Tactics of protest, used unconventional methods like humor, provocation, and mass mobilization. Pragmatic approach, focused on practical solutions rather than ideological purity. Rules for Radicals, 1971, provided a guide for activists on how to organize effectively and disrupt power structures. Social change. Meaning of social change. Social change refers to significant alterations in the structure, functions, and norms of society over time. It can be gradual or revolutionary and is influenced by factors like technology, economy, politics, culture, and social movements. Social change can occur at different levels: individual, group, community, or national. Definitions of social change by scholars. Jones. Social change is a term used to describe variations in, or modifications of, any aspect of social processes, social patterns, social interactions, or social organization. Kingsley Davis. By social change is meant only such alterations that occur in social organization, that is, structure and functions of society. McIver and Page. Social change refers to a process responsive to many types of changes: biological, physical, economic, political, and cultural. It means a change in social relationships. Morris Ginsburg. By social change, we understand a change in social structure, that is, the size of a society, the composition or the balance of its parts, or the type of its organization. P. Fairchild. Social change refers to variations or modifications in any aspect of social processes, patterns, interactions, or organizations. B. Kapuswamy. Social change is the process in which human society transforms its structure and culture over time. H. M. Johnson. Social change is a process of structural transformation in social institutions, relationships, and behavior patterns over time.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in next video.